We were talking about the Bucks a little bit. So the Bucks have hired the former Raptors assistant and Andrew Griffin, and Giannis seems to have he played a role and he vouched for Griffin to get hired. So yeah, that's one news there. We also have some other transactions that took place. The 76ers have hired Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse chose to coach the 76ers over the Suns because he has a desire to coach Joel Embiid, and he also has a history with Daryl Morey. This is according to Woj. So, yeah. Okay. The Washington Wizards have hired a new president of basketball, and Michael Winger. They kind of poached him from the Clippers, so that's interesting. And again, the Bucks did try to get Nick Nurse, but Nick Nurse pulled out, and as we know now, joined the Sixers. And I think I said Andrew Griffin. I apologize. I said the dude's name wrong. Milwaukee is hiring Adrian Griffin to replace Mike Budenholzer. Again, yeah. Adrian Griffin, not Andrew Griffin. I don't know where I got that from. But Adrian Griffin. So, a lot of different moves that just took place. Zay, which one of these moves are you like the most excited for?
For me, I think I want to see how Milwaukee does, just because I feel like they have the best team out of the teams you just named. Philly, they have a talented starting lineup, and the reason I'm not really big on Nick Nurse for the Sixers is that I don't know if he's going to be able to really make a big difference in Philly. I feel like they need to make some roster changes if they can keep their like core intact, but make some additions to kind of boost them. That'll be a difference maker. And can they really like make a team effort to be more of a team? I feel like there's so much of, all right, Joel, let's get you the ball on the block, go to work. James, let's get you some shots, let's go to work. Everybody else figure it out. Nick Nurse, I feel like probably can do a good job of getting the other guys, but will it be a big difference for Philly? I don't know. The Bucks, on the other hand, with Adrian Griffin, though he's not a proven household name as a coach, I think that it's a really good thing when former players get these type of opportunities. And when another star player like Giannis in this league vouches for you, I feel like that speaks a lot of volume for him. And I feel like they have a talented team. They got hit with some injuries and kind of fell apart. They had some inconsistencies as well, but I think that the Bucks with Adrian Griffin could be interesting. A former player who can probably relate a little bit more compared to like a Nick Nurse. Even though I think he's a good coach, I'm not taking anything away from him, but I also think like Nick Nurse had Kawhi Leonard in his finals run, and Kawhi just went off, honestly. Not to say that, Siakam, Kyle Lowry, all those guys aren't good, but he also had Kawhi Leonard in his finals run.
Right. And right now it seemed that was really prime Kawhi Leonard because, Kawhi Leonard now just can't seem to stay on the floor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's good points. For me, I guess I'm most excited about. Well, not excited, but I have a question here. The Bucks have to make some key decisions here as far as their roster is concerned. Do they want to bring back Chris Middleton? Do they want to bring back Brook Lopez? This team is getting older. And I'm glad they kind of listen. I'm glad Giannis got his coach that he vouched for. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that was his first choice, though. I'm not sure that was his first choice. Anyway, but either way, it's great news that Giannis supports him as a hire.
Yeah.
Because you want to try to keep Giannis happy. Because he could potentially be gone in the next couple of years. So do everything you can to keep him happy.
You never know.
Because they're still your franchise player.
For sure.
And they do need to kind of retool their roster a little bit as well. And I wonder what type of scheme Griffin would employ. You know, but the Bucks are clearly a good team that can contend. But hiring a new coach, that guy set things forward greatly, or it could potentially set them back because you're trying to adjust to a new coach or a new system if he tries to implement one. So that's the question I have there. Nick Nurse, I don't know. And I'm also curious what the Suns are going to do now. All the coaches that are on the market, man. I mean, Doc Rivers is still out there. You didn't get your first pick in Nick Nurse, but Doc Rivers is still out there. And I just don't know who they'll hire because who else is out? Ime Udoka's with the Rockets now.
Mm-hmm.
What are the Suns going to do? You have 2 superstars.
Well, I don't want to repeat of Brooklyn saying, you know, let's get our own coach from KD or something like, or Kyrie in that case, whatever. But I do want them to make a collective decision. As far as
apparently it was Nick Nurse, but he backed out.
Yeah, maybe it's, I don't know.
I mean, who else is out there?
Honestly, I'm still kind of like surprised by the Monty Williams firing, which is.
Hey, you remember what I said? I was like, they can't get someone like Nick Nurse or like one of those like championship coaches. I was like, what's the point? That's exactly what I said. And now it seems like you're about to get to that point. Because other than that, Mike D'Antoni's still out there. But, I mean, is that the type of coach that you want? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be some good offense you're going to see if they hire him. But
sure.
That has the issue with D'Antoni's always been defense, not offense. So, like...
That's a good point.
I don't know. It's about to come to fruition probably. If they don't hire a coach, that Monty Williams fire is going to look pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll have to wrap my brain around them a little bit more. But I don't really know what they are going to do. I don't know. It's a lot of variables with health and Chris Paul and just filling out that roster and finding the right type of coach.
It doesn't mean something that Nick Nurse chose the Sixers over the Suns. What does that say? I mean, you rather coach Embiid and KD and Devin Booker? Well, that's interesting. I think that's a little interesting. Like, what does that imply?
Well, if we're implying things, you have to look at the last couple of years with KD in Brooklyn.
Good point.
Take that into, consideration. Even Phoenix, looking at Chris Paul's hurt when the playoffs roll around, he's pretty banged up. Devin Booker has some injuries. And overall, like, what is the connection? What's the thing with DeAndre Ayton? I feel like with Phoenix, you're kind of walking into more problems than, deeper problems than solutions, or minor problems with scheme and actual like basketball stuff. I feel like with that type of roster, you got to look at, all right, this happened in Brooklyn, that happened in Brooklyn. All right, Aiden didn't want to be there, but he's still there. Chris Paul is getting older and he's hurt a lot. That's a lot to consider. And
that's true.
Nick Nurse, even though he's been around the league and the G League, he's still a young coach. He probably wants to get it sooner than later. So maybe he saw a better opportunity or better fit for him in Philly. And like you said, the Daryl Morey connection is a big factor too.
Bye.